First impression was like, it was huge. Yeah, first impression was flying over the jungle and seeing no lights.
No lights?
No lights.
All right.
So as far as you can see.
Thanks a lot for receiving us. To start, I'd like to know something about your musical background, like early on in your life. What was the first contact with music? What impacted you guys the most, like, and for deciding to be musicians too?
Oh, I don't know. First music I ever heard? I don't know. Probably Jimmy Crack Corner.
Jimmy Crack Corn, I don't care, the master's gone away.
First song, Jimmy Crack Corn? Yeah, probably some type of big band thing, you know, like...
Yeah, like
the Glenn Miller Orchestra.
Right on, right on.
I didn't have any ideas that it would be a career or anything, but I knew I liked to do it. So.
What about the first piece of gear that you guys ever had? Did you guys pick it up by yourselves, or was it a gift and you still have the first instrument?
No, anything I ever had like that I bought myself.
I don't know, first instrument, I had a guitar. Early on, it was cheap, it was like $80. And I don't have it anymore. It fell apart.
Yeah.
So, but I've got guitars and things like that I've had for a long time.
And how did you develop like the taste for becoming a drummer?
Well, I was a guitar player first and there was no drummers. Somebody had to do it.
The beginning of the Melvins, it started like as a mockery of colleagues from the working class, like with a supervisor, right? It was the name of a guy.
That's exactly why. I didn't want a name that sounded like anything. So you don't know what we sound like.
You were a multi-instrumentist, right? You play bass and guitar too.
Yeah.
I was listening to your solo album.
There's one called Rat a Tat Tat.
This one is pretty good. You guys grew up in Washington, right?
Yeah.
You are from Markham? And,
yes.
And then you moved to Aberdeen.
Yeah, near Aberdeen.
And what motivated you guys the most?
We went through music. I mean, there was not too many musicians in the area that we came from, so it was easy to kind of know everybody, meet everybody, even though they were from a neighboring town.
And most of the musicians are a bunch of jerks. But in a small town, I think it's almost worse because it's a echo chamber.
Sure, everybody thought they were
A feedback loop.
You know.
Stephanie and I, we were talking earlier today to decide the top 3 albums of the Melvins. A Senile Animal first, and then Houdini and Stoner Witch. Would you guys agree on a top 3? You both, like the best 3?
The last record I think was really good, and I listened to it a lot when we made it. That was a really good job.
I think Five Legged Dog is a really good record.
That was good too.
That's got the best recorded version of Night Goat on it. Definitely. That record's really good. That's better. I think that's better than Stoner Witch, personally.
Hard to say.
Stoner Witch to me sounds overproduced. I don't know. We would record it better now.
Well, we did work with a producer on that, you know, that...
We did. It sounds different than Houdini, which is good. I don't think Houdini sounds very good either, but it's okay.
Do you like the kind of producer that comes up with ideas in your songs, or do you prefer the guys who just keep it clean and everything audible on the tracks?
Oh, we like working with people that have ideas.
Doesn't happen very often.
No, I mean, we've been working with Toshi for a long time, and he was that's good ideas and stuff.
He does, but I wouldn't call it production. I'd call it engineering and recording. Some of it, a little bit of production. But production to me means you work with the songs from the ground up.
The first time I heard about the Melvins ever in my life, it was just a kid. It was in 1994. It was when you guys were touring with Nirvana for their last album, the Neutral phase. And then I was like kind of interested about the name, but I just grasped a bit more of what you guys were doing. Later on, maybe in A Snide Animal, that I started listening to you guys. I would like you guys to trace a parallel between the underground and the mainstream, like a band that starts in the underground, goes mainstream, and then a bunch of bands that are unknown for a lot of people, they start like getting noticed, and then if you dig, you're going to find many things in the underground.
Well, one thing's for sure, millions of people who bought Nirvana records will not buy our records. Millions of them.
But certainly a lot of people have found our band through that band.
But not it won't be millions.
It won't be millions, but still, I mean, and it's easier to do now than ever because all you gotta do is like, if you have Apple or any of those music services, it'll show you related bands, you know?
Millions of people will hear our band, but they will not buy the record.
Could know, but then there'll be some
Because
music.
they don't buy the records, there's nobody buys records now. Huh?
There'll be some people that are interested in that stuff, you know?
But I just mean that won't translate into millions of sales because it doesn't for anyone.
We've been able to make it work, so.
Yeah, but it's not millions.
No.
Not millions.
No.
When you brought Kurt Cobain to produce Houdini, that didn't work at all, right?
It works somewhat, you know. He was on about 40% of the record, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Played some guitars, some drums too.
Little.
A little.
Yeah. I mean, he was in a bad way at that point, so I don't think he would have been anything. And then his succubus wife was hanging around too, and she was no help.
I produced a few songs. It worked out pretty good though. I got a bunch of plywood and put it down on the floor for an ambience and used a lot of microphones, tried to steal some of Albini's techniques. I like the record now that I've heard it. It's finished. Yeah, I just saw their video the other day. I hope it's played on this station because it's really funny.
I listened to you talking in an interview that watching montage of Hack, that you couldn't see that guy as the guy you knew as a friend, like in the daily perspective.
Montage of Heck is total bullshit, top to bottom, and anybody that believes that is living in the world of make-believe. And even the director finally said that I was right. He's probably right. It isn't right. But we were making it like it was. At least you're not calling me a liar. Nobody did. None of the people that made that movie said a word about it because they knew I was right.
Sure.
I knew I was right. They can't sue me. They have to prove that all that stuff happened. They can't do it because it didn't happen.
Right on.
You know?
You were the first drummer in Nirvana.
It wasn't really called Nirvana when I was playing with them, but certainly those
It
songs.
was Fecal Matter.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
You guys were both together with
songs.
him, right? Yeah. The guy that you guys met, like in your day friendship, was not the guy that the media was trying to induce to people, like creating a generation icon.
We were in a weird redneck town, and we didn't fit in there. And it wasn't hard for people like us to not fit in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was definitely an outsider, as was Novoselic and us. So that's not odd. We weren't like prom king type stuff.
Yeah.
Going to high school dances and hanging out with cheerleaders.
Right.
That wasn't us.
No, that's
Certainly
the kind
wasn't
of stuff he
him.
was writing about. You know?
Huh?
Obviously, that was the kind of stuff he was writing about.
Right.
Getting outcast from that.
Yeah.
Right.
As far as the media making a big deal out of nothing, well, they're really good at that. You know, people that make a whole career out of doing stuff like that.
But where they're wrong is
and stuff like that.
where I think they were really wrong is he was really funny and had a very, very dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
Very dark sense of humor that now would be considered cancelable.
Oh, he'd be canceled for sure.
You would be canceled.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But I mean,
But we would never say any of that, huh?
people don't realize that it's that.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
The world's different, right?
I don't know if it's for the better. It seems like everybody's more hung up now than they've ever been.
Sure.
About this canceling culture, did it ever happen to you guys, like having someone that you used to admire, and then that person does something really, really bad?
Nothing comes to mind.
Right. I mean, I'm like we don't get offended easily by anything. You know, take for example, like Ted Nugent. People are like, "Oh my God, he's a Republican. He hunts. He eats meat." It's like, I don't give a shit. Spanko still sounds good to me. I don't care.
But we weren't friends with him.
Wasn't friends with him, right?
And admiring him, no, I wouldn't say I admired him, but I don't mind, like, Stranglehold's a good song.
Sure.
He's got a few songs that are really good.
But because of
I don't know that he said
offended by it. I mean,
well, the thing is, like, Cobain said plenty of things. We liked and admired Cobain. He said plenty of things that would have got him canceled, but it would have been canceled to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Just because I knew it was a bunch of bullshit. So, just because somebody gets canceled doesn't mean that it's real or that they deserve it.
But if it's something that you know for sure that was something
that's never happened. It's never happened to me.
murders or anything like that?
Nobody I can think of, you know, that murdered. I don't know. You know? People I looked up to when I was growing up would be like, when I was a little kid, I liked Captain Kirk. He hasn't been canceled.
No, he was space even funny.
You know, I liked Pee Wee Herman. He got canceled, but that didn't seem like he did anything that was cancelable to me. I mean, that doesn't bother me. He didn't rape a kid or something, you know? Who
Right.
cares? I don't care. He got canceled, but when you think about what he got canceled for, got in trouble for, that's not really a big deal to me.
No.
Doesn't ruin what I liked about it to begin with.
It's not like Jimmy Savile, where
But we never liked Jimmy Savile.
Sure. but I mean,
was the case?
But I mean, just like,
That's one thing. That's definitely it. Getting canceled, that's just bullshit. Executed before you even have a trial. If I go by the media, like how it works for me, I've done plenty of interviews with people where I would say that they are wrong more than half of the time as to what exactly I said. If I go by my Wikipedia page, 70% of that's total nonsense.
It's like any news, it's just, like it's just entertainment.
It's nonsense. It's just nonsense. And
Or distractions, if you want to believe in big conspiracy theories.
Distractions,
Which I don't believe in conspiracy theories generally because people can't keep their mouths shut.
Exactly.
like the earth is flat and something like this.
It is.
It is, right?
As far as I know, I don't know.
But
You can see
let's
here,
say,
right?
let's say the Earth's flat. Why would they be hiding it from us? How do they benefit by us not knowing the Earth is flat?
Yeah, these jerks think the earth is round.
They think the Earth is round.
We're full of them.
It's insane. Unless you can show me how someone would benefit from some nonsense like that, then I don't understand what the point would be.
This usually comes with some crazy thoughts. For example, the God Bless America thing that was huge in the times of the Bush era in the United States. Do you think that trying to merge religious thoughts with politics could be a healthy thing?
Well, first off, you have to understand, everything a politician says is a lie. If they're talking, they are lying. One thing you can guarantee from any of them, right wing, left wing, Republican, Democrat, is that they're liars.
Right. They all go to the same.
Everything they say is lies.
They're all taught at the same places. You turn them upside down, and they all match each other.
Turn them upside down, and I can have sex with all of them.
About the system and how things work. Do you see a way out of this?
A way out of what?
At the moment? Out of capitalism.
I think we're better off now than we ever were. Capitalism is probably a big part of that. All I know is that whether it's right or wrong, or has problems or doesn't have problems, nothing has worked better than capitalism.
So far until now.
Right?
Do you agree? Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best system. I don't know, but it's the best system so far. Communism, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck all that.
Yeah. Do you think communism is bullshit?
Communism is total bullshit. Total bullshit.
Why do you want the government to control everything, every aspect of your life?
That's the thing, Dale. We don't want any government to control anyone.
I know, I've heard that a million times, but it's not going to work.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is somebody's going to come up behind you and blow your brains out with a gun.
Exactly.
And take over, and then you're going to be right back to the same dictatorship you've ever been. You cannot change human nature.
Yeah.
You can't do it. The best you can do is a compromise. Life is a series of compromises. That's it. There's no pie in the sky. There's no perfect system. It's not going to happen.
There's no free lunch.
I don't like government officials, and the last thing I want to do is give them more power. I want them to have less power. I mean, if you're going to talk about anarchism, well, good luck with that. The ugly depths of human nature will always get in the way of that.
I was listening to you in a recent interview, and then you said that you achieved things in your life with your partner that you wouldn't be able to achieve by yourself. And then the only thing you care about is not owing people large amounts of money, the IRS and
That's
stuff.
one thing.
Yeah. And then being surrounded or having a partner in your life, do you think that's the way to build things from a core and then expand this through the society? Or you don't care at all about the collectiveness and you just care about not owning large amounts of money?
I don't particularly enjoy collectivism.
Uh-huh.
Who's going to make all these decisions? Who are these angels who are going to set everything up for us? Who would they be? I certainly don't trust anyone I know to do that. Don't worry about things you have no control over. It's not going to work. And if you want to sit there, not you, but if people want to sit there and bitch about that kind of stuff, then they're always going to be unhappy. And generally speaking, what I've seen is people that talk along those lines, they're okay with whatever happens as long as they feel like someone else is getting fucked over more than they are. So I don't go along with any of that. I don't think it's anybody's right to take stuff away from people who have stuff. You don't have that right.
Like the properties or something.
If I work all day and make for 2 ping pong balls, is it okay for you to take one of them? 1 million ping pong balls, is it okay for you to take half of them? No.
But what about if you make those balls and someone takes
there's no
percentage?
There's no. That's how it is. If it's not okay to take one, it's not okay to take 500,000. That's it.
Do you agree with him on everything? Yeah.
Everything he says.
Everything he said. All right. So just for me to comprehend everything and see if I got what you said. For example, if you produced 2 products of anything and then someone goes there and take one, it's wrong, right? Because you produced that. But if you have a guy who is behind you, controlling your time to produce those things, and then when you are producing those things, that guy who didn't do anything is just controlling the hours for you to produce that.
It doesn't
If that
matter.
guy takes a percentage of what you are producing, do you think that's fair?
It doesn't matter. There is no such thing as a wage until the person working and the person employing them has decided what it is. That's it. No third party should be able to come in and decide what I am going to pay someone or what I am going to work for. That's it. That's it. So until the employer and the employee have decided what that is, there is no wage. And no one should tell me what I can or can't work for. That's my decision. If I decide that I need to work and I desperately need the money, the amount of money that I decide to work for is my business and no one else's. It. No third party should be able to come in and tell me, you can't do it. You know, the minimum wage is $20 an hour, but you can't work for $10 an hour. What if I really need to work for $10 an hour?
But what about the guys in the production line?
There's no buts. There's no buts.
No,
That's it.
but
You know?
what I'm trying to make a point here with you, Buzz, is if you are living as a worker in a production line, and then let's say that you produce like 600 iPhones, and then in the end of the month you are not able to buy even just one iPhone. Do you think that's a fair
what you need to do, what you need to do,
produce the means?
what you need to do is this. You need to develop skills that someone will pay you for. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Sobre o Brasil.
Yeah, that's the last one.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you.
No, that wasn't about Brazil. When you guys went to Brazil, what were the first impressions that you guys had there?
But it was a big, huge place.
A big, huge place. That was the first impression of yours.
Yeah, well, flying in the
First
summer
impression.
was like, it was huge.
Yeah, first impression was flying over the jungle and seeing no lights.
No lights.
No lights.
All right.
So as far as you can see.
And did you have any expectations when you were hired to play there? Something that probably you saw about Brazil, but then going there you saw something differently, or you had no expectations at all?
No, it was about what I expected. I mean, I knew it would probably be a lot of really great music fans, and it was. But beyond that, I wasn't surprised by anything. I thought it was pretty about what I expected.
Did you make friends there in Brazil?
No, I don't make friends anywhere.
No friends in Brazil.
No friends in
No.
Brazil. What about you?
I don't use, that's not a special case for Brazil. It's just I have a hard time making friends anywhere.
Well, we were only there for a few days, so I mean.
Yeah, it's hard to make friends in a few days.
That's it. Thanks a lot for talking to us, Dale and Buzz.
Thank you.
Many thanks for your guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, hope you enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
You guys take it easy. Take care.